friends, how's it going? It's me, Betty Jean. I'm back again with another installment to my color theory series. Today we are breaking down the color blue, as you can see by my eyes. Thank you again for all the love and support on the green video as well as the yellow one. That was the first one. I recommend checking out especially the yellow one before seeing this one if this is your first one, just because I go really in depth with the color wheel. I will touch on it again just to give a little refresher, but if you want the most in-depth analysis out of all of these videos, go to the first one. Anyway, let's pull up our color wheel right here. We are working with the color blue. As you can see, the opposite of blue is orange. That means it is the complementary color. When these colors mix, it creates a neutral. This half of the color wheel is the cool tones, and then as you get around, it goes around to the warm tones. There are three primary colors, red, yellow, and blue. Those colors cannot be created. They are mixed together to create the other shades, which are purple, orange, and green, but you cannot actually create blue. With that being said, since it is a primary color, I find it pretty easy to work with all the other colors of the color wheel, kind of like how yellow is really easy to work with pretty much everything except purple's kind of weird to blend together because it does get muddy because it's a complementary color, as you can see on the wheel. But blue I feel like is pretty easy to work with other colors. I feel like the most common use of blue in the look that we see everybody do that does makeup at all is a very warm brown, pretty smoky eye with a pop of blue, whether it's on the lid or on the lower lash line, something like that. Blue is really easy to incorporate with just those really pretty neutral brown looks. It's easy to incorporate in black smoky eyes. I really like pairing blues with grays. But as far as actual colors go, I like pairing blue with pretty much everything. I don't have a whole lot of issues. On top of the fact that orange and blue are complementary colors, so you don't want to necessarily blend them on top of each other. I personally don't like to wear orange and blue together because in my town that is the colors of the team that everyone raves about, and I don't care about football, so I don't want to look like a football fan over here. Honestly, you could wear whatever you want. Again, this is not me telling you that you can't pair certain colors together. That's just me advising you that directly blending orange and blue together may not result in the effect that you were thinking it would do. So blue is opposite of orange. It's kind of opposite of yellow and red. Again, those are the other two primary colors. It's not hard to make those work, but just keep in mind that if you want a really good blend to red, you might want a little bit of purpliness in there, and if you want a good blend between blue and yellow, you might want a little bit of greenish in there. And again, it can be done without having to do that, but that's just gonna make your life easier. And like I said before too, if you really adamantly want that nice contrast of blue and orange on an eye look, my favorite ways to do that are with cut creases or with popping one of the colors in the inner corner or on the lower lash line, things like that, doing it as more of a pop of color situation instead of just trying to get that actual blend. If you've seen my other two, this is going to be a lot of repeating myself, but just in case there's new people here and I just want to reiterate the same things because a lot of these principles stay the same for each color. It's just kind of tweaking which colors it works with. If you want a really good seamless blend from blue and orange, you would probably want to go either the route of blue to purpley reddy orange, or you'd want to go from like bluish to greenish yellowy-ish orange in that kind of a way. So what we're going to do now is I have my arm right here. I'm going to do what I've done in the last two videos, and I'm going to lay down all of the colors and blend blue on top of them just so you can get a visual on what's going to happen if you blend certain colors. For all of these comparisons, I'm going to be using Kimchi from Sugar Pill. Let's go ahead and start with orange since it is its complementary color. This is the orange from the Juvias Place Zulu palette. Picking up some of that blue and I'm going to blend on top of it, and you're just going to see it's going to kind of muddy out and not create a true color. It's just going to kind of, you know, it's just going to neutral out and muddy out. See? And again, that's kind of the same kind of color it does when you mix yellow and purple and what happens when you mix red and green. Next, let's go ahead and swatch the red. This is Love Plus from Sugar Pill. I'm picking up a little bit of the blue. I might dip in twice just because this is a really pigmented red. But it's just gonna kind of turn a little more purpley. It's already kind of working its magic. Blues and reds aren't too hard to work together. Just keep in mind, a purpley hue may come from it. Going in now with some purple, I'm taking, I can't remember what this is called, but it's the purple from Sugar Pill. I think it's called, I have no idea honestly. Someone else can correct me, but it's a really pretty purple from Sugar Pill. We're just gonna take some of that blue and it's just gonna create a really pretty bluey purple kind of color. Purples and blues work really well together in my opinion. I mean, they're right next to each other on the color wheel, so that's not really an opinion, but it just turns into a really pretty bluey purple kind of color. I like working blues and purples together. Let's go ahead to the other side of the color wheel. Let's go ahead and take some yellow. This is the yellow from the Juvias Place Zulu palette. I'm gonna pick up some of that blue, and when we mix these together, it's gonna create a greenish kind of color. Pretty instantaneously, actually. And now taking green, this is I think called Menagerie from Sugar Pill, and I'm gonna take some blue and blend over top of that. and it's gonna create a really pretty teal kind of color. Blues and greens also go really, really well together, which is what we learned in the last video when I was talking about greens. I really like mixing blues and greens together. Oh, that's so cute. There you have it. This gives you a better visual, and you can see that this one's very muddy and all the other ones turn to more of an actual color. And again, this is in no way me telling you can't pair certain colors together, but just keep in mind that some blends are easier than others. Now let's quickly talk warm versus cool toned blues. I was having a hard time finding a good chart. I found this one, which is kind of the chart that I've been using for all of these, but I don't fully agree with this because you zoom in and you go to the warm side. To me, these are not warm. These are cool toned to me. They have that periwinkle purpliness to them. I found this chart that I kind of like because it shows more of you going from these cool, more purple-based periwinkle-esque blues all the way down to where it's more teal, more green-ish. But obviously this doesn't show a lot of examples. But I also found this that I kind of like. It's very overwhelming because there's lots of colors. You zoom in and you can clearly see that more this side of the chart is more warm toned because it's leaning more towards those greens. And then these blues are leaning more towards these purples, so they're more cool toned. Blue in itself is a cool color, so you're not really going to find a true warm toned blue because on both sides of blue are green and purple, and both of those are on the cool side of the color wheel. But blues that lean a little more green are going to be considered more of the warm toned blues than the blues that are leaning a little more purple, if that makes sense. I think that was why I was having a little bit of a hard time finding a chart to describe my thoughts. For the most part, blues are cool toned. And now let's talk about my favorite blues in my collection. I got a lot of them. Blues are some of my favorite to wear. I love this kind of a look where it's just deep and blue and smoky. And I love pairing it with a pale nude lip, just like I'm wearing right now. I really like Kimchi from Sugar Pill. It's such a creamy, good blue, and it works so well. Such a good, just light sky blue. It's so nice. I will talk about the Juvias Place Zulu palette, mostly for the shimmery blue because it's really pretty, but I also want to talk about this teal shade. I talked about this in the green video, but I'm going to talk about it here too, just because it works really well playing from blues to greens. From the Dragon Child palette from Menagerie Cosmetics, I like this one because it has this really pretty Cave Dweller deep navy color, and it has this really pretty Dragon Rider. And then Myth or Legend I talked about in the green video as well because it's more of a teal, but it does lean a little more blue, and I like playing with this color when I'm playing with other greens with the blue. From Venus 2, I just want to talk about Filter. I think I've talked about this palette for all the colors so far. But Filter is such a unique, soft, it's like a filter. It's just so pretty and light and periwinkly cool toned without it looking purple. I love it. From the Dose of Colors Desi X Katie collection, this blue is everything. It's what I have all over my lids in this eye look today. And even this one down here called Game Over, it's a sparkly black, but it has a blue shift to it, and I think it's really cool. The Saharan 2 by Juvias Place, it has two really awesome blues. It has this one right here called Berber, and then this one that I can't pronounce, which is on my inner corner of my eye. Both of these are such unique, cool blues, and they're so metallic. From BH Cosmetics, the Weekend Festival palette features a lot of really, really cool blues. It has this really nice shimmery light blue. It has this really pretty, more tealy greenish blue, and then it has a really pretty true blue that has more of a satin finish. From the ever so controversial Morphe Jaclyn Hill Dark Magic palette from the Vault collection, I like this specifically for this busted shade. I think it's really pretty. And then it kind of like what I said in the green video, I think I talked about this in the green video, this is just a really good palette to play with blue-green tones together. From the Juvias Place Magic palette, we're talking about a lot of Juvias Place in this video. I love this palette because this row has all these really pretty shimmery blues. This one is a purple with a blue shift to it. This is a really pretty tealy blue, and then this is a really pretty matte, deeper blue. Oh, it's so good. This is a good blue palette. A really affordable, easy to work with option if you're looking on ways to incorporate blue without going crazy is the Colourpop Dream Street palette that was in collaboration with Kathleen Lights. It has this really pretty matte teal, this really pretty shimmery teal, and then this color just looks like a normal frosty shade, but it's actually a really cool, just, I don't know, it's like an iridescent-y, bluey, greeny, white, icy color. I love it. But this is a really good palette to play with if you're mostly using these kind of tones and just want to play with pops of blue. This is the palette for you, and I think it's only $16. The Strobe Cosmetics Creepy Cute palette, I had to include it specifically for Cold Shoulder. This is such a good pastel blue. And then Creep It Real is obviously on the green side, but these two colors next to each other make it really easy to do that really pretty blue to green kind of look. And then last but not least, we have the Give Me Glow Summer Vibes palette. Brazilian Bikini is a really pretty teal color. I should have talked about this in the green video too, but I guess I totally forgot to. But Summer Fling specifically, holy cow. This shade makes my heart skip a beat. I'm 99% sure Give Me Glow sells this as a single, but Oh my gosh, you can't tell me that's not everything. I mostly bought the palette for that color and the yellow, and I'm so glad I did. Those are my favorite blues in my collection. I definitely want to hear what your favorite blues are, whether they're in palettes or singles, because I'm always looking for new colors in my collection. And now, without further ado, if you want to watch me create this eye look, then just keep watching and we'll finish this video up. All right, we're gonna do a blue look. I don't know what I'm gonna do. What a surprise. I'm gonna start by taking Cave Dweller from the Dragon Child palette from Menagerie Cosmetics. I just have it on the dual-ended Lunar Beauty brush. I think I want this to be a smoky eye, so we're just gonna take this all the way from inner to outer corner. I'm just kind of laying this shade down. I'm not doing anything crazy revolutionary right now. I'm also going to go ahead and run this underneath the lower lash line. And now a little bit of a warning. I've been pre-filming a lot and putting my eyes through hell, so shadow may not be sticking in this little corner down here by the end of the video. It's not any of the shadow's fault, it's my fault because I'm abusing my eyeballs. Next, I'm going to go ahead and take Filter from the Lime Crime Venus 2 palette. I love this color because it's such a soft blue and it's so cool toned and it's just so pretty. And I'm just blending this right above where I blended that Cave Dweller shade. The series has been really fun because it's been kind of inspiring me to pin different palettes together when I'm usually pretty good about sticking with just one palette. Not that there's a rule that you need to do that, but that's just typically what I do is I stick with one palette at a time. And it's been kind of fun having multiple palettes laid out in front of me and just kind of dipping into different shades that way. You can see I'm heavily blending in this inner corner because that gives it that grungy feel that I love and adore. I'm going to take some more Filter and just heavily smoke that out underneath the lower lash line, kind of even getting in that eye bag zone because again I want a very blown out grungy blue eye look today. I'm going to take a little bit more Cave Dweller and I'm just going to heavily pack that in this outer corner here. Next, from the Dose of Colors Desi X Katie palette, I'm taking A Moment right here. It is such a pretty blue. I can't wait to put that all over my eyes. And this is very cool tone. It's borderline purpley, but it's so pretty. And I'm just, honestly, I'm packing this all over my eye.
Open eye, feel the waves cut through me, hypnotized by the sounds of.
Now from the Juvias Place Saharan 2 palette, I'm taking this shade here. I do not know how to pronounce it and I'm not going to attempt to because I'm going to butcher it. But I'm going to pop this in my inner corner. The shade is really, really unique. It's very frosty and white-ish, but it's such like a pretty neon icy blue. Oh, it's such a cool color. I love this shade. This is one of my favorite shades in my entire eyeshadow palette collection. I think I might do a video like that in January. My most unique and favorite eyeshadows in my collection because this is definitely one of them. For liner, I have this one called Black Blue from Pixie and I'm gonna run this in my waterline. I'm also just kind of smudging this right in the lower lash line, right up against the lashes. Now I'm just taking that Cave Dweller shade we used first and I just have that on a flat definer brush. And I'm gonna just smudge this against what we just did, just trying to fill in any gaps of skin that might be showing, just so it's nice and deep right against those lashes. I feel like one of the main questions people ask me about blue is how to wear blue eyeshadow without it looking just like full-on 80s. And I feel like having depth to the look helps with that a lot. Like for instance, if I were just to have this light blue shade all over my lid, it could look very 80s, which personally I don't mind that look. I think it's cute. But if you're trying to avoid that, adding some depth really brings it together. And now we're just gonna blend that out just a tad bit. Oh, I love this so much, it's so cute. I'm going to do the other eye and I'll be back. So this is the final look and this is the end of the video. I hope you liked it. I hope it was informative for you and helped give you some ideas on how to play with blues if you're a little unsure. I love wearing blues. I am not scared of blue eyeshadow like the internet makes it seem like you should be. Don't be afraid of blue eyeshadow. Blue eyeshadow is everything. And I have blue eyes, and I still love blue eyeshadow. Don't let the internet tell you you can't do certain things. I think we're just gonna continue kind of around this direction of the color wheel that we've been doing, and the next one will be purple. I plan to have that next week. Sorry that this one was more 2 weeks after the last one, but it got really busy with holidays and other videos I needed to get up, so we're back on track, just a few more to go. We're about halfway there now. If you're not already, please hop over to my Instagram, it's beautbean, follow me there. I post every single day, and don't forget to subscribe here before you leave. I post every Friday, Saturday, Sunday, Monday. Let me know what videos you want to see on my channel. Thank you so much for watching, and I will catch you in the next one. Okay, bye.